Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to make a shoulder dart bustier, how to draft it on a pattern. So it's very simple to make, just watch carefully and you'll learn a lot from this video. So I already made some markings. My armhole is 9 inches, the bust point is 11, the under bust is 14 and 3/4, and the half length is 17 inches. So it's going to be a half scale bodice, it's not a full blouse. Okay, so from there I took my shoulder measurements, which is 16 inches divided by 2, which gave me 8 inches. So on the 8 inches mark, I'll be taking 1 inch shoulder slope. I take my armhole width, my neckline width, which is 3 inches. I'm just going with the natural neckline, and then I'll slant it to my armhole. To draw my armhole curve, I'm going to take my bust measurement, which is 41 divided by 4 is going to give me 10 1/4. So I'm taking that now, and then using the curved ruler I'm going to connect my armhole. So quickly I'm going to leave this now so that we can work on the bustier part of the dress. The bust span measurement I'm working with is 9 inches. That's the nipple to nipple. So 9 divided by 2 is going to give me 4.5. So I'm going to measure the 4.5 on the under bust and on the half length, and also on the bust point. That's 4.5 each, and then I'm going to make that into a straight line. Okay, so now the next that I'm going to take, now remember this is a shoulder dart bustier, is going to be on my shoulder, and to get that point I'll just mark what I have here as my shoulder. This is 5 inches. So I'm going to divide that 5 inches by 2, and it's going to give me 2.5, and I'll make a mark there, and from my bust point I'll connect my marking to my 2.5 mark to have my shoulder line. I hope you understand this up to this point. So the next thing to take now is our bustier dart. So on the under bust I'm going to take 1 inch on each side for my dart. I take that down to the waistline, and then using a straight ruler I'm going to connect it like this. So after connecting it on my bust point, I'll go down by 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to take my curved ruler and then make my curve, my bust curve, like this, and also on the other side like this. Sorry, my marker is not showing well. Okay, so after that I'll go over to my shoulder also and take my shoulder dart. So there are several ways you can actually do this. If you have been watching this channel a lot, you know that we also take bust dart, but for this I'm not going to be taking bust dart. So assuming I want to take bust dart, I'll just go over to my bust line, my bust point line, and take 1 inch on both sides, connect it to this. So once I open up this dart and I open this place, this dart will automatically be transferred to my shoulder. But I won't be doing that. I'll just go over to my shoulder now, and I take 1 inch on the shoulder line on both sides like this, and then just like I did for this, I'll go up by 1/2 inch on the bust point, and then I'm going to connect it back to my bust line like this. So these are our darts, but this is going up as my dart. So now if you notice, our shoulder became reduced because we are going to be cutting off all this. So now my shoulder that was 5 inches is now left with around 3.5 or thereabouts. It's not even up to 3.5. So I just need to measure what I took here, which is 2 inches, and then I'm going to go over to this place and replace my 2 inches. so that I won't be having any shortage on my shoulder. Okay, so after doing that, what I just need to do is to redraw my armhole curve. Okay, which is what I've just done. Sorry, my marker is a bit okay. So I just redrew my armhole curve, and the next thing to do now is just to take your circumference measurement. So I took my bust measurement already, and on my waistline, my waist measurement is 38. Divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5. So I'm going to take that now. This is 3.5. So if I take 3.5 to this side and continue my measurements, I'll have 9.5 here, and then I'm going to connect that to my bust. So you can decide to add whatever allowance you wish to add. You can add that on your pattern, or you add that later when you're transferring it to your fabric. So you can see how simple it is to make your shoulder dart bustier. And also you can decide on the neckline. Remember, I've not done any neckline on this, so it is left to you to decide on the type of neckline that you wish to use. So I've cut this out now. I just decided to add allowance on this pattern, and then I can cut out my darts. So it's as simple as that. Assuming we added a bust dart here, once we close this dart, we won't need to open a dart here. Once we close this up and we slash this middle line open, it automatically transfer this bust dart to the shoulder line. So if you want more contour, you can actually do that. So it is very simple to make your shoulder dart. And don't forget to add back your shortage, the dart that you took on the shoulder. You need to add that back so that you won't have any shortage at the end of the day. So it's very, very important. You should always bear it in mind. Okay, so now that we've cut it out, this is what we have. Okay, so that is how you make your shoulder dart bustier. So the back is simple. You just need to take a zipper allowance like this, and just like we did for the front, I took my bust band measurement and I took it up to the shoulder. So on the waistline, I took half inch for my dart, and I connected it to my chest line. There is no dart on the shoulder, and then I took my measurement and then connected. So it's very simple to make the back, as you can see. So now what I just need to do is just to cut this out. My marker is on. I'm just trying to make us see the lines that I made here. Okay, I hope you can see them better now. So this is my dart line, this is my zipper allowance line, and these are my side measurements line. Okay, because I'm not taking anything on my shoulder, so I don't need to add any allowance to make up the excess that I'm taking from my shoulder. Okay, unlike the front body. So what you just need to do now is to cut this out just like we did for the front. Okay, so I've cut it out. This is the back that, and I've labeled it. This is the center back, the side back, you can see, and this is the front, the center front and the side front. So that is how you make your shoulder dart bustier pattern. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you haven't, so that you get notification anytime we upload a new video. Thank you.